Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we are going to flow like a river, creating a working opening vinyasa that incorporates active breath as well as moon salutation. As always, play when you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin today's practice standing at the top end of our mat, but before we do so, I'm going to demo for you the breath pattern that we are going to start our flowing sequence with. The breath is called the breath of joy, and it involves you inhaling through your nose and exhaling through the mouth. For the inhale, on a big inhale, you're going to take 3 short breaths in. You can think of them as sniffs. So it's going to sound something like this. And then 1 long exhale through the mouth. Your 3 inhales coordinate with an arm movement. So on inhale 1 or sniff 1, you're going to be crossing your 2 hands in front of you. Then on the second inhale, you're going to be opening up the arms. On the third, you're going to be floating them overhead. And on the exhale, you're going to think wood chop. So I'm going to demo. Let's do that again together. All right, you're set. Find your way to the top end of the mat. And we're going to repeat that breath of joy 5 times. Ready to begin? Then cross your palms over your heart and take a short reprieve. Coming straight into moon salutation, you're going to place your hands on your lower back, coming into a standing back bend. Exhale, give me a soft forward fold and repeat 3 times, oscillating between the standing forward fold and the standing back bend and the soft forward fold. On your third forward fold, you're going to step the left leg back. You're going to bring your front leg to 90. You're going to knife edge your back foot, setting up a high side plank. And you're going to play with your right arm, tracing a semicircle, reaching for the front and the back wall. Then pivot, facing the opposite direction and begin to side squat lunge. We'll keep the first one high to the mat. Just opening up through the groin, arms are soft and dangly. Find your way back to the top end of the mat and step back into a plank. Release the knees, shins and feet. Come into puppy stretch, draping your arms on the mat and thinking chin and chest, looking off the front of your mat. Bleed your way onto the belly, either into a sphinx or into a cobra line, and begin to play with a little shrugging release through the shoulders. Then ease your way into a down dog. Keep it soft and give me some playful opening movement through the knees and the hips. Then still your dog. Pick up the left leg behind you. And then pick up the right leg behind you. Do a swing through step, stepping up the legs one at a time, coming into your soft bendy fold. Then bring it up into your back bend. Cross your hands over your heart and begin that moon salutation again. 1 back bend, 1 soft fold, repeating 3 times. On your third fold, step the right leg back, front foot to 90, knife edge the back foot, and begin to trace that semicircle. Then pivot in the opposite direction and side lunge. Arms long and dangly, warming up through the groin. Pivot to face the top end of the mat and step back into a plank. Release your knees, shins and feet and set up your puppy stretch. Drag it forward onto the belly. Set up a small cobra or a sphinx and then shrug and release into the shoulders. Ease your way into a playful down dog. Release through the knees and the hips. Still your dog. Kick up the right leg behind you. Then switch legs. Do a swing through step to come into a soft fold. Standing back bend. Hands crossed over your heart. And then open up your legs a little bit wider so that you can come into a midway squat. And then maybe a table fold. And begin to play dynamically between the two for maybe 5 successive turns. Just finding the rhythm that suits you. We're going to end in that midway squat, hanging our hands on our hips, and you can take it to the side if you need to open up into the groin. We're going to step back from here into a cat-cow, but we're going to play up the cat-cow. So I think 4-point kneel. And as you hollow out your back into the cow, you're going to press your bum back towards the back end of the mat. As you come into your cat, you're going to come forward over the wrists and you're going to start to create a ripple-like move with your body while playing in cat-cow. Stay here in your rippling cat-cow or work the next progression. Think down dog and press your bum back. Then think plank, but think of finding a cat-like stretch. So we're keeping the legs straight as we find the ripple with our down dog and the plank. Stay here or come into a pistoning down dog by looking for more bend in the knees. Still playing with a ripple, but tweaking it slightly. We're going to end in the down dog. Hold it. Take a nice stretch into the arms, legs, and back. Then soften the right leg, kick it up behind you, and do a swing through step into a low lunge. Tucking the toes of the left leg under. We're going to maybe float the hands overhead, looking for a little crescent lunge. And then we're going to either drape the hands on the mat or sweep them behind us as we come into a hamstring stretch. And we're going to begin moving dynamically between the crescent lunge and that hamstring stretch. Trying to keep the toes tucked under on the back foot. So we're working a little toe breaker stretch there. We're going to end in that hamstring stretch. And find our way back to down dog. Soften the left knee, kick up the left leg behind, and do a swing through step into a low lunge on the left, tucking the toes of your back foot under. Crescent lunge and a hamstring stretch. Beginning to find your rhythm, working with your breath. We're going to end in that hamstring stretch. Pause. Find your way from here back into your down dog. And then we'll use the down dog to come to a 90-90 seat on the mat. Thinking of taking a seat with your right leg in front. We're going to form more or less a 90-90 angle on the front leg and the back leg, but you could bring the legs closer in towards the midline if you like. We're going to start looking towards the top end of the mat. Then we're going to revolve and find that 90-90 pattern to the back end of the mat. 3 times we're going to move between the front and the back end of the mat, and we're bringing the hands along with us for support on the mat as we play and open into the groin area. Then start to move a little deeper using the same 90-90 frame. See if you can drop down onto the forearms in a sphinx-like fold. Pause for a moment or two, and then revolve to repeat at the back end of your mat. And we're looking for roughly 3 turns of this 90-90 with a little sphinx fold. Then let's start to add to that pattern. The next time you fold into Sphinx, the lead arm, the arm that's on the same side as your lead leg stays there, and then the other arm we're going to take a little reach and hold. Then repeat to the back of the mat, looking for at least 3 successive turns. Flowing like a river, as we open into all of those little tight nooks and crannies in the body. Let's do one more to each side. Then the next time you find yourself rotating towards the top end of the mat, you're going to sweep the legs underneath you and come to a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Stabilize through the trunk, slide the right arm out and rotate the palm in, slide the left leg back. In unison, float your 2 extended limbs up into table and start to bird dog. Exhale as you think elbow to knee, inhale to stretch. Exhale to tuck. Inhale to stretch. Give me an active exhale. Let's end in a stretch. And then change sides. Setting up your frame and beginning to tuck and extend when you're ready. End in a stretch, hold it. Release back to 4-point kneeling. We're going to find our way to a fold at the top end of the mat. So maybe you're just tucking the toes under, stepping the legs up one at a time, and you've got some play options here. Either a bendy fold, hands to floor, or hands to block, or you're going to find your way into a crow line from here. Thinking hands on the floor, come into a tiptoe position, relaxing your knees to your armpits, starting to relax and rest the weight of your body on your arms, and looking off the front of the mat, seeing if you can lift one foot off, and then maybe the other coming into a crow balance. Then ease your way into a soft forward fold, ragdoll your body side to side. We're going to bleed back up and run through that whole sequence again, beginning with a breath of joy. Ready to inhale. Cross your palms over your heart. Take a quick breather. Then right into moon salutation. Standing back bend. Soft bendy fold. 3 times move between those 2 patterns. On your next fold, step the left leg back, front foot to 90, knife edge your back foot, and start to trace that semicircle with your right arm. Reaching for the front and the back of the mat. Then pivot as you come into your side lunge, and maybe you can start at hip height and start to wiggle walk the legs apart and see if you can bring yourself a little bit closer so you're just skimming off the surface of the mat and you're now bringing it into more of a side squat lunge. In looking towards the top end of the mat, step back into the plank, release your knees, shins and feet, and set up your puppy. Drag it onto the belly, think cobra or sphinx, and maybe add a little release into the shoulders. Find your way into a playful down dog. Move through the knees and the hips. Still your dog. Kick up the left leg. Switch legs, kick up right. Swing through, step into a soft fold. Bleed it up into your back bend. Hands cross over your heart. Begin again. 1 back bend. 1 fold. Repeating 3 times. On your next fold, you're going to step the left leg back. Sorry, my bad, right leg back. Left leg comes to 90. You're going to knife edge your back foot. And you're going to find Soma Chandrasana 1 and 2, reaching for the front and the back of your mat. Then you're going to pivot in the opposite direction and you're going to set up that side squat lunge, trying to bring yourself a little bit closer so you're skimming the surface of your mat while moving between the front and the back edge of your mat. End looking towards the top end, step back into a plank, find your way into a puppy stretch, release to the belly, find your playful shrugging cobra. Ease your way into a playful down dog, move through the knees and the hips. Still your dog. Kick up the right leg. Change legs. Do a swing through step into a soft fold. Find your back bend. Stand tall, hands crossed over your heart. Look down to your feet, splaying them softly out. From your midway squat, start to work a little bit deeper. Maybe you can come hands to floor and then find your fold. Maybe keeping the hands on the floor throughout, or you can maybe place them on your shins as you alternate between 1 squat and 1 wide forward fold. Giving yourself maybe 5 or 6 turns. Groin should feel a lot warmer now, so it should feel pretty comfortable as we end in a squat. Maybe adding a side lean. We're going to find our way into that cat-cow play, making a little ripple as we play. So you're going to think finding your hollow back, pressing back, and then rippling and leaning forward as you find your cat and starting to play with that movement, making a beautiful little flow. Stay here in your cat-cow ripple, or start to translate it into a down dog and a ripple plank. Stay here or start to look for more of a pistoling-like movement through the knees and the arms. We're going to end in the down dog. We're going to soften up the right leg. We're going to kick it up behind us. And we're going to do a swing through step into a low lunge, keeping the toes of the back foot under. We're going to think crescent lunge, throwing the arms up and curving through the spine. And then sitting back, bum to heel, and starting to play dynamically. We're going to end in the hamstring stretch, hold it. Then back to the down dog. Kick up the left leg behind, do a swing through step into a low lunge on the left. Remember to tuck the back toes under as you come into your crescent lunge. And then sit back, bum to heel, and start to play dynamically between the two frames. We're going to end in our hamstring stretch. Find your way back into a down dog. Use the down dog to set up your 90-90 frame on the mat. Taking a moment to find your seat. And when you're ready, start to revolve through the 90-90 line. One look to the front of your mat, and then one revolve to look to the back of your mat. Then start to add a Sphinx fold the next time you look into the front of your mat. And give yourself at least 3 turns with that little Sphinx fold. Finding your rhythm, there's no rush. So you're looking for roughly 3, but you could be using more or less. Your number could be more or less than that. We'll keep that little Sphinx fold and we'll add a little reach at the same time. Then the next time you find yourself starting to revolve towards the top end of the mat, you're going to sweep the legs behind you, set up your 4-point kneel for a bird dog. We're going to float opposite arm and leg out and up and begin to tuck and reach with an active exhale. End in the tuck, hold it. Then take a long reaching stretch. Stay here or find tiger by bending your floating back leg, reaching opposite hand to foot. Square up through the line of the trunk and then kick the foot up and away from your bottom, thinking hollow back. Release into child. Arms could be long and extended. They could be stacked or they could be wrapping around the body. Back to your 4-point kneel. Left leg, right arm working this time for your bird dog tuck and reach. In the tuck, hold it. Abs contracted. Then undo the contraction to stretch and reach. Maybe adding a tiger stretch, reaching opposite hand to foot. Crescent back, thinking of kicking your foot up and away from your bottom. Chilling child for a moment, picking the arm line that resonates for you. Then into a fold or a crow at the top end of your mat. Step it up, maybe soft bendy legs, hands to floor. Maybe coming onto the tips of your toes, tucking your knees into your armpits, finding a resting spot, and seeing if you can get a lift off. Then into a soft ragdoll sway. We're going to run through that sequence one last time, beginning with our breath of joy. Peel your way up into a tall stand and start to play when you're ready. One more time. Cross your palms over your heart, taking a breather and preparing for moon salutation. One back bend, one fold. 3 times, repeating that. The next time you fold, the left leg steps back. Set up your side plank and start to trace that semicircle with your top arm. Then side squat lunge, and we're going to try to work really deep this time, kissing the mat with our hands, almost as if we were giving it a little clean. We are going to end looking towards the top end of the mat, and we're going to set up a plank, using the plank to release into puppy. Then onto the belly for some cobra or sphinx play. Then finding some down dog play. Hold the stretch for a bit and play left leg kicking up. Then right leg kicking up. Swing through, step into a soft fold. Lead it up, support your lower back. Stand tall, hands crossing over your chest. Find your back bend, find your fold, and repeat twice more. The next time you find yourself folding, right leg steps back, set up your side plank, and begin to play with your left arm, reaching for the front and the back wall. Following that arm movement with your eyes and your head. Then pivot in the opposite direction, side squat lunge. We're going to try to work really low to the mat, so nice and deep into the groin, make those bum bones heavy. End looking towards the top end of the mat, step back into a plank, release to puppy, onto the belly for some cobra or sphinx play. Then into a down dog. Keep it playful. Then pause in the stretch for a moment before you find a 3-legged dog, kicking up the right leg first. And then doing a little switcheroo. Swing through, step into a soft fold. Lead up. Support your lower back. Crossing your hands over your heart. And then looking down towards your feet, setting up a wider stance so that you can come into a deep or a midway squat. And then a wide standing fold and begin to oscillate. Maybe you can even Start to bring the hands off the mat every time you find your way into that deep squat. We're going to end in the deep squat. Hold it. Then our rippling cat-cow. Stay here or find your way into a rippling down dog plank. Stay here or look for more of a pistoning action by starting to bend the knees before you press back into your down dog. And in the down dog, take a little delicious moment there. And then use the down dog to find your way into a low lunge on the right. So we're going to think, kick up the right leg, do a swing through step, keep the back toes tucked under, find your crescent lunge, and then sit back bum to heel and begin to play. One crescent lunge, one hamstring stretch. We're going to end in that hamstring stretch. We're going to pause, taking a nice deep toe breaker seat. Then down dog it. Three-legged dog on the left. Swing through, step into a low lunge. Keep those back toes tucked under. Start to find your crescent lunge and your hamstring seat. We're going to end in that hamstring sit. Back to down dog. Use the down dog to set up your 90-90 frame. Taking a moment just to find your seat and then beginning to revolve between the front and the back end of your mat. Just finding the rhythm, pausing a little bit in your seat before you switch sides. Maintaining your tall seat throughout, so not collapsing the weight of your trunk into your hips. Then maybe starting to add a Sphinx fold to your 90-90 seat. Maybe starting to add a reach to your Sphinx. Trying to hold each reach for at least 5 seconds this time before revolving and repeating to the other edge of your mat. Make this your last reach Sphinx. And then we'll ease our way into a 4-point kneel at the top end of the mats for our bird dog play. Let's do right arm and left leg. And in the tuck, hold it, abs contracted. Reach and stretch. Add a tiger. Thinking crescent back. Take a breather in child, releasing the arms into a position that's comfortable for you. Back to 4-point kneel, we're going to bird dog. This time we're going to do left arm, right leg. We're going to end in the tuck, hold it. Then extend and reach. Add a tiger if you like. Release into child for a little breather. Then into a forward fold or a crow at the top end of your mat. Picking what works for you. Taking a moment to find your way on the mat. Then releasing into a soft ragdoll sway. And at this junction, we are going to change our mat position and we're going to find our way to a legs up against the wall position. You could also do this one freestyle on the mats if you prefer. So you're going to bring your mat right up against a sturdy wall or a sturdy piece of furniture. We're going to assume an A-line stretch on the first one. So you're going to think bum right up against the wall, legs looking up towards the sky. And you can pick the arm line that works for you. Maybe T-frame, palm down or palm up, or maybe more of a Shavasana-like position with the arms closer towards the body. We're going to pause here for a moment, actively stretching the legs and bracing into the feet. Then you're going to open up into a V, and here you can either support your thighs from the outside, or you can add a press down from the inside. Pausing there for a moment. And then easing your way into a butterfly, so thinking of knife edging your feet, maybe holding onto the ankles, bringing your heels in, maybe pressing off the knife edge of each foot, and then maybe using your palms to press the two knees away. All right, now close your eyes. Think of those three positions: legs straight ahead, legs in V, legs in butterfly. You're going to begin moving dynamically between the three frames, finding a rhythm that makes sense for you, and holding each pose for as long as you feel your body needs it. So there's no right or wrong pace to set here. Keep your eyes closed and your focus inward. Start to inhale and exhale exclusively through the nose. Calm your body, calm your breath. Set up a rhythm and a pace that makes sense for you. Calm your body, calm your mind, breathe into the stretches. Then think of those three positions that we've been playing with. Legs straight up on the wall, legs opened up into a V, or knees splayed out in a butterfly line, and pick one of those three to end in for some active breath work. We're going to play with an alternate nostril breath. So we're going to keep the left arm relaxed. We're going to take the middle and index finger on the right hand. We're going to place them on the third eye, that spot between the two eyebrows. We're going to use our thumb to close the right nostril. We're going to take a big breath into the left. Then we're going to use our ring finger to close the left nostril and open and exhale right. Then inhale right, close it, open and exhale left. Inhale left, close it, open and exhale right. Start to find a rhythm working at a 1 to 2 inhalation to exhalation ratio. So if you're inhaling for 3, you're going to double up and you're going to exhale for 6. Focusing just on 2 components today, only the inhalation and the exhalation. Set a rhythm of your own, and maybe your breath capacity is feeling great today and you can bump it up to 4 to 8 or 5 to 10. You could even work beyond that, but make sure that you're not straining on the exhale. Stay here playing with this breath pattern, keeping the weight of your back pressing into the mat. Keeping that inhale and exhale going. And with this exercise, trying to bring into harmony the left and the right side of your body, your male and your female energy systems, trying to bring them into perfect Zen yin-yang harmony. Keep this alternate nostril breath pattern going, or maybe just return your breath to normal after your last cycle as you internalize the truth of the next few words. Live your life like a river, always moving forward, focusing on what's to come and not on what has already passed. You can never touch the same water twice, because the flow that has passed will never pass again. Even if the path remains the same, each moment in time is unique. With those thoughts, let's end off today's practice by simply nodding chin to chest and internalizing the words Om Shanti. Peace within, peace without. Thank you for coming out and indulging in some river play with me today. Till next time, keep it light.